Hi, Luke Woods here, editor of Glass Times magazine. Today I'm with Chris Burrows at Vista Panels for the latest edition of Glass Times Live. Chris, your new role as managing director comes at a pivotal moment for the business. Vista celebrated 30 years manufacturing last year, I believe. Can you just tell us a bit more about your background and your vision for the company?
Sure, Luke, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. Yeah, look, a little bit about me, very briefly. I've been in the industry for the last 26 years, about 2 years. The 2 years out of it was fabrics and blinds and, designer kind of stuff, which was good fun. But by and large, hardware, some profile, and more latterly, manufacturing doors. I stumbled in, like most people, stumble into the industry rather than, you wake up one day and think, I want to be in the glass and glazing industry. There was a local business called Avocet Hardware in the late 90s. And I had just come back from a bit of a traveling around the world scenario with a couple of friends, and I needed some money. And lo and behold, there was an advertisement for a salesperson for Avocet. I knocked on the door, and kind of the rest is history in some respects. But yeah, I've had the glazing industry has been really, really kind to me, and sales in particular has been super kind. So I spent, probably best part of 15 years in hardware in various roles, given a couple of opportunities for promotion. And that doesn't always work out, but fortunately I had some fantastic people to learn from. And the rest is almost history. So yeah, I've been in the job now officially only for about 4 weeks, but I've been sort of acting on the role for a fair time before that. And Vista is a really good business. You're quite right. Pivotal moment you mentioned, which is 30 years. We've been doing panels for a long time and composite doors for probably the last 15 years. And we couldn't. You can't make 30 years without a bit of reflecting on the people that have got you there, and that includes customers and your suppliers and the team around you. We've got people who've been in Vista for 20, 25, and actually a couple that are over 30 years. So that definitely helps navigate, the recessions and everything else that you're faced with over that period of time.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we've mentioned before, Vista's a long history of manufacturing in the UK and been performing well recently, as far as I understand, despite the tough conditions that I think a lot of people have experienced over the last year or so. You mentioned people there and longevity of some of the staff members, but what are the other kind of key factors behind that resilience at Vista?
Yeah, look, if your proposition's got to be right, your service has got to be absolutely spot on. And look, nobody's perfect. We're in manufacturing, things go wrong. Sometimes it's about how you handle those issues. And we always say, if customers got an issue and it's down to them and they need some response, look, it's about getting it right and getting the money for our customers so they can pay us. We support them through legislation. We're really big in new build, and you're quite right. You point to the fact we've had a good year. Last year was a really strong year for us, and that was on the back of many years before that. One of the previous MDs, Keith, he started to target the new build sector in a big way. And I think that sector in particular has suffered from bad service over the years. It's all about price. Don't get me wrong; it still is all about price. But we can service them in a different way. We have engineers out in the field, full-time engineers that cover the country that pick issues up and resolve them as and when they come up. What else? I guess over those 30 years, you think of the recessions that we've been faced with. It's helpful that we've got a strong balance sheet, and we always have been in a good position, especially since Eurocell acquired us back in 2017. So we've seen a lot, but again, you look at the supply chain that we have. These suppliers, we're really loyal. We've been with them for a number of years. They understand our business inside and out and what we need from them. So that helps in tough times. But really, working close with key customers as well. We have helped out businesses in the past that are perhaps, during the credit crunch years ago. I was told we helped a couple of businesses through that, and those businesses I won't mention, but are still around and thriving now. So yeah, I think there's a lot in your toolbox that you can pull out, but you've just got to be grateful for the experience and the people that are around you at the time to help you make those decisions.
Sure. And as I understand it, lead times, there's a lot of things you mentioned there, but lead times are perhaps one of the a big part of Vista's operational model, a particular strong point.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about how your business achieves that? What do you do differently to others?
Yeah, we do it slightly differently. Look, we operate out of 3 factories, but the main one is composite doors, and we've got the machinery, we've got the people, but in terms of the dispatch area, it's quite a small dispatch area. So everything we do is just in time. And you think, wow, that's pretty scary. Who does just in time? Well, we kind of have to do that. That's kind of our model. So everything that we get in, we produce. Even if we get 4 weeks lead time, we will still only produce it when we need to produce it. So you've got to get all your ducks in a row in terms of your stock and your people. Got to be really reliable. You've got to have decent vans on the road. You've got to, everything in that chain needs to work really, really smoothly, and it does. So yeah, the reliability is kind of a word that I kind of throw around a lot. Are we a reliable supplier to our customers? Are our suppliers reliable to us? And if you get that right, then your business model can work. Our panel business is done particularly well as well. People said, panels dead, they've gone. Well, they're not as many panels as they used to be out there, that's for sure. But there's still a demand. There's still a demand, and there's less and less of us doing it. And is that a good thing? I guess it is. But we work on a just-in-time model, and it works really well for us.
Of course. So I mentioned the sort of industry conditions in an earlier question. Still tough times for the industry. Bit of a mixed outlook for the year ahead. Some positivity from some commentators, but you mentioned that you're investing in people and technical support at Vista. How's the outlook for you guys for the year ahead? I mean, where do you see the most promising growth opportunities?
Oh yeah, now you're talking. It is going to be tough. There's no question about it. Depends in which sector you look at. Yes, we do supply trade and social housing. Yeah, we do a bit of that. But our big part of what we do is new build, and interest rates will help. Some form of stimulus from the government will help for first-time buyers. Anything on stamp duty will help, and that doesn't help new build. It helps everybody in our sector. People move and they want to invest in the house and their properties. So the outlook as it stands today, okay. And I think market conditions are tough because there's a lot of businesses that need to fill factories. So to do that, price has become the number one factor in negotiating now, whether or not that's negotiating for more business or for price increases or for whatever it may be. Price is really, really high on the agenda, and it's understandable. It's absolutely understandable. But I think for trade itself, we still believe there's a huge market out there, and there's so many of us making doors now. You can always go and take share. That if you want to grow, you can take share, but it comes at a cost. So yeah, I think the challenge in the industry is one of stimulus. The other one is legislation. Certainly, the Future Homes legislation that we're facing for this year is having an impact across a lot of businesses that are in the house building sector. And yeah, the cost of running a business is expensive, and there's a lot of challenges facing us, and uncertainty. If the government can help flatten out that uncertainty and give a bit of confidence, we've got half a chance, and that goes across the building sector, not just glass and glazing.
Perfect. Chris, thanks very much for joining us today, and congratulations again in your new role. No doubt we'll be hearing more from you later in the year. Thanks very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Luke.